Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here in period 3 with my app creators. And today, our intention, and you guys have to be very intentional with everything you're trying to do in programming. Are you with me? You have to get one thought in your brain, and you got to work on that one thing until it's completed. Are you with me? How do you build a puzzle? You find two pieces and you put them together. And then you repeat that over and over again. Are you with me? So today, we're just going to put in one piece of this puzzle. Now, I'm going to give you a quick tip before we start. Does everyone see this Pacman 0, Pacman 1, and Pacman 2? Did everyone name their images like I did? If you didn't, this is not going to work for you. And I guess my question is why didn't you save them as Pacman 0, 1, 2? Okay. You're going to want to go back, and you could even just go into your file folder right here. Documents. Okay. Let's see, your app creators, right? Count me in. You're going to want to rename these guys Pacman 0, 1, and 2. Do you know how to rename them in a file folder? You don't know how to rename them in a file folder. All you have to do is right-click on them and hit rename. Or you could do a soft click here. Soft click. And then that'll pop up and you can type in Pacman. And you're going to want to get these. Do you guys notice how I spelled all these? Lowercase Pacman 0. Lowercase Pacman 1. Lowercase Pacman 2. They're all identical except for what? The number at the end. And I'm going to show you how to change that number in the end with code in the code blocks. Are you with me? So there is a very intentional way that I named all of these. Does everybody understand this? Thumbs up if you get this. I guess probably this isn't what we're getting ready to do probably isn't 7th grade level material. Are you with me? It's probably a little bit higher than that. So I hope you guys can handle this. All right. So let's see if the sequence is correct. Pacman 0 is a dot. Pacman 1, the mouth's open a little bit more. And Pacman 2, the mouth is all the way open. Is that sequence correct? Because I think last week I had the sequence wrong. Yes. I'm only going to have 3 because that's all I found in that sprite sheet. Is it going to look the best? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to get into that at the end, you know. If you want smoother images with the chomping, then you make more images. Are you with me? Just a little bit open, a little bit open, a little bit, you know, and then it'll be smoother. But I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. We haven't read code out to look at it yet. So who's ready to begin here? And then if we have enough time, maybe we'll get Pacman to move left and right with some simple movement. Okay? Is everybody ready to go? Who said no? What are you not ready with? Okay. Do I need to share my GUI with some of you guys? All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we are live and we're recording. So what we just did is I shared my GUI with everybody, right? So now you guys have a GUI that looks like mine. And if everybody looks down here, does everyone see Pacman 0, 1, and 2? Okay. You guys should have all these media files that I have. Is that correct? Okay. All right. So we're going to start off very slow here. So let's answer your question. Mr. Lutterby, what's your first name? Will. So Will Lutterby says, Mr. Richter, how do I get Pac-Man in the middle of the screen? That's a good question. So if you guys look at this, your Pac-Man has X, Y coordinates and a Z coordinate down here. Do you guys see that? So you can either mess with it here, or you can, I do everything in code. So we're going to go to screen 1, initialize. Everybody see screen 1, go to code, go to screen 1, and look for a block that says initialize. When you start the game, this is the block that runs first. Are you with me? And now all we have to do is say, hey, I want my Pac-Man, I want its X and Y. So now you just go down and set its X and Y. I can duplicate this and change the X to a Y. And now you can find out where do you want him to go. So let's see how far this block is. Let's see how far it goes down. Okay, that's 200. So remember I said the screen was 300 by 400? But is our question, is our canvas 300 by 400? No, why not? Because it doesn't take up the entire screen. That makes common sense. Are you guys with me there? This scoreboard up here is taking part of our screen. The button controls is taking up part of our screen. Are you with me? So this is not 300 by 400 anymore because it's taken up. Now, if I would get this guy over here as close as I can, it does look like we are somewhat close to this being 300. You with me? How wide was our Pac-Man? Did we set Pac-Man's height and width? It is? Okay. So what did we make him in GIMP then? 36 by 36? 18 by 18? Yeah, so anyway, let's make it 36 by 36, then we'll know. All right. All right, so that's 36. He was pretty close to being 36 by 36. Might have been 30 by 30 or something. So now if I add 36 to this X here, that's going to get us pretty close to 300. So this screen is still, and that's probably, that makes sense, right? Because we're not taking up a lot on the left and right here. So this screen is pretty close to 300. Now, how high is it? I don't know. How far can you get that down? I'm going to move this guy down to 225. Okay. Now I'm going to move this guy down to 250. Okay. Looks like it's like 250. You with me? So, when you set this X, in my brain, half of 300 is 150. Okay. And then half of 250 is 125. So I want Pac-Man to start out at 150, 125. Okay. Who understands that? And now let's just run the game and let's see where he goes. Are you with me? Can we connect this companion now and just see where he shows up at? Yeah. I got Mario on my screen, so that's definitely not the one I want. Okay. Run it. Load your app. And yeah, Pac-Man's like almost right in the middle. Okay? My Pac-Man's in the middle. Is anyone else's in the middle? All right. Could we find the exact middle of the screen? Yeah. Okay. There are equations where you could take set x to be the screen width, right? I think I'm going to blow you guys away here if I start doing this, okay? You could set it up to be the screen width minus screen width divided by 2, right? Minus half of the sprite image width. So like if he's 30, I want to go find the middle, right? So you take, because remember, and I'm getting too far in this, so I think I'm going to blow you guys away with this. So there are ways of finding and when we upgrade this, we might talk about that, all right? Right now, let's just set the 150, 125, and let's move on. All right? So, do we have a play pause button here? Okay, so is the play going to start the game? Yeah, so it should. So let's go and put play in here. Yep, that's the play button. All right, so when you guys click on the play button, when I click on the play button, I want to start my timer. So now you come down here to, uh-oh. Do we not have timers on here? Oh my gosh, we don't have timers on here. All right, this is good. So you guys have to go down to sensors, and you need 2 clocks. You need to add 2 clocks to your screen. Thumbs up if you have clock 1 and clock 2 added to your screen. Okay, we need 2 clocks. 1 for animation and 1 for game time. You with me? Game time and animation are going to run at different speeds. So you can't have the same. If they were the same speed, then we could have just 1. But they're going to run at 2 speeds. So let's rename these. Clock, game, time, and this clock 1 over here, or however you want to call it, clock 1, clock 2, call it clock, animate sprite. So I have clock animate sprite, and I have clock game time. Are you with me on that? Thumbs up if you have clock animate sprite and clock game time. Oh, really? You must have a scroll. Now, I'm going to intuitively, does everyone see this screen 1 here? I'm going to intuitively use this screen 1 to my advantage. Okay, here's a tip. Every time you use a timer, right, you want to see that it's running, and you want to see how it's running and how it's behaving. Are you with me? Okay, you guys ever had a stopwatch, right? What happens if a guy is, or a girl is doing the timer at a track meet, and the whistle blows, and they get to the end, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to start the timer. Okay, don't you want to start the timer and know that the timer's running? Yeah, okay. So, anytime you're dealing with timers, it's very easy to get into timer complications and errors. Are you with me? The first thing you want to do is make sure it's running. Did it start? Right? The second thing you want to make sure it's running is it running fast enough or slow enough? Is the speed right? All right. So here we go. You ready? I'm going to show you how to use that screen 1 to see the timer to see if it's running. So we're going to go down here to Clock Animate Sprite. And we're going to scroll down till you find a green handler that says Set Timer Enabled To. You want to enable the time. So now you're going to go back and go to Logic's True. I just turned on the clock. Okay? So if I add a comment here, enabling turns on the clock. If you want to turn it off, what are you going to set it to? False, right? Timer enabled false. It's not running. If you want it to run, timer enabled set to true. Thumbs up if you have this. So now you have the beginning phases of a timer. Unfortunately, it's not doing anything yet. Yeah. Go to screen 1. Click on screen 1. And go to scroll screen enabled. I'll turn it off. Scroll, like screen scrolling. There should be a checkbox for screen scrolling. Scrollable. It's not checked? Then why do you have a screen there? Yes. How do you get the question mark? I'm sorry. Okay. So you guys can, or you can put this in there. You don't have to. If you right-click on a block and say add, remove comment, I can right-click and add a comment. Once you get the question mark there, you can click on it, and now you get a little text box, and these are called comment boxes, okay? I can type out my thoughts in this box, okay? You see that? You can right-click on anything. Like up here, I could right-click, add a comment, click on it, okay? Yeah, you could write hi, and you could say here, right? I want to set Pacman in the middle of the screen when the app icon is pressed. Okay, you guys with me on that? I can type out there whatever I want. That's what's cool about it is like you could write comment. It's like a post-it note. You guys with me? You guys know what post-it notes are? You can just add a post-it note here and say, hey, these are my thoughts. This is what I'm trying to accomplish here. Yeah. Yeah. Hurry back because we're going to keep coding. Sure. Sure. Let's go ahead and add, well, we don't have text-to-speech, so let's go back and add text-to-speech. So we added text-to-speech. Okay. And now we can go back into here. Text-to-speech is in media. And now she can come on and say, timer has been started. Okay. Everybody good with that? It's a good idea, Mr. Lutterby. Great idea. It's a great use of text-to-speech. Now we have input and output text-to-speech saying, hey, timer has been started. Now we need to see if the timer started, right? Is it really truly started? Okay, let's find out. How do you know? Let's go ahead and run it. Let's connect it.
Timer has been started.
Well, how do you know my timer's been started? Just reset it.
Timer has been started. Timer has been started. Timer has been started.
Has the timer really been started? No. Okay? So, even though you told the timer to run, you have to tell the time what to do. Are you with me? Okay? So let's go down here and let's go get the timer block. So I'm going to go to clock animate time, and there's a dot timer. Find that clock animate sprite dot timer event, and now we're going to actually make the time start moving. Okay? I'm going to actually make the time run. All right, in order for me to create a timer event, I need a variable here. This is a great activity. Everybody in here, by the end of the day, needs to know how to make your first variable. What's the problem, man? Hit the scan button and scan it in. Okay? All right, so go back up to your blocks and look for that little orange block that says variables. Thumbs up if you see the block that says variables. Go ahead and click on that and grab an initialize global name 2. Everybody see initialize global name 2? Okay. Now we're not going to leave this as name here. We're going to give it our very own name. So click on that box that says name, and you want to change this. You can make this whatever name you want it to be. You with me? Pacman's location, Pacman's X and Y. Okay. I'm going to call it animate counter. Okay, because I'm going to use this to animate the clock and animate a counter. In computer science, we use counters all the time. Counters count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you with me? And I'm going to initialize this to a math 0. Go to your math box and grab a 0 out of there. I'm going to say, hey, I want my counter to be a number. I'm going to start it at 0. What? That's game time. I think you're thinking of game time. This is not game time. This counter is going to go 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. We're going to loop this counter going 0, 1, 2. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Are you with me? Who's ready to go? Is our counter running yet? No. Is the timer running yet? It's been turned on, but you did nothing with it. Are you with me? It's like the car's still in neutral. Even though you told it to drive, the car's still in neutral, and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay? That's my best analogy that I can give you right now. Okay? So, let's make this timer tick. So, you're going to go back into your variables box, and you're going to set my animate counter to be. And now you need to go back to your math box and grab a plus sign. And now I'm going to go back to my variable box, and I'm going to get my animate counter. And now I'm going to go back to my math box and grab a 0. And this is going to be plus 1. So you're going to go animate counter, set it to be animate counter plus 1. So if you're on 0, you're going to add 1. If you're on 1, you're going to add 1. You're going to get 2. And if you're on 2 and you add 1, you're going to get 3. And if you're on 3 and you add 1, you're going to get. If you're on 4 and you add 1, you're going to get. And if you're on 5 and you add 1. Okay, do you see what's happening here? Do you see what's happening here? Okay. Now, can you shut that door for me? Now, let's look at our timer to actually make sure it's really ticking. Are you with me? Eyes up here. Every time you deal with timers, you need to look at them and make sure they're ticking. Okay? Make sure it's ticking as fast or as slow as you want it. If it's too fast, slow it down. If it's too slow, speed it up. Are you with me? You are the developer. You are in control. Okay? So watch this. I'm going to go to screen 1. Go to your left-hand side, find screen 1, and find that dot title. Set screen 1 dot title. And now I'm going to show you how to use a join command because I use them all the time. Go to your text box and grab that join box. Everybody see the purple text box, or kind of like fuchsia text box? Does everybody see where it says join? I love this because we use this. It just, I don't know why. We use it all the time. Okay? So now I can just put in here counter, colon, space. And now down here in this bottom box, I can go back to my variables and I can get my animate counter. Okay? And now it should add 1 to it. And what should I see in my title bar? It should say counter, colon, next to it. By the way, we could put a little space in here if we wanted to. Next to it, we can put in the animate counter. And you should see it going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go ahead back and run this. Let's go back and connect this and run it.
Timer has been started.
Okay. In the top corner, is it counting?
Timer has been started.
Is it in the top left corner? Does it say counter? And does it tick? Yeah, we haven't looped it yet. Okay. So yours is on 50. Thumbs up if you have your counter running and you can verify that it's running. How do you know it's running? How can you be 100% sure it's running? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Okay. In the left-hand corner of your screen, can you see it running? Yeah, we can see it running. So now you guys want me to show you how to loop it. So it goes 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Okay. So this is what I love about game programming is that, and this is what I try to tell my administrators and the people that I work with. Some people look at game programming, they're like, the kids shouldn't be doing game programming. I'm like, yes, they should. Because you guys are in, this is way deeper right here than 7th grade code. Are you with me? The logic level is much higher than 7th grade code. Are you with me? We're getting some deep concepts in computer science here. This is why I love game programming. It causes us to go deeper, and you guys can understand what I'm trying to accomplish. Okay? So here we go. See, you guys would have never done an if statement in 7th grade last year, all right? You're going to go control if. Go to your control box. By the way, once you learn if statements, you're going to use them 95% of the time when you write programs. Probably the most common block in code is an if block, a while loop, and a for loop. An if block, a for loop, and a while loop. Are you with me? Learn to loop and learn to do if statements because they control your program. Okay? I'm going to grab this if block. and I'm going to put it inside of my clock animate timer underneath my green screen 1 title. Okay, you with me? And then I'm going to do something wrong here today because last class figured it out. I want to see if you guys can figure it out too. Okay, we're going to say if, and you guys need a math statement. Go get your equal block. Go to your math blue block and grab the equal sign. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. 5 minutes left. We can see if we can get this done in 5 minutes. I think we can. Yeah. What? We're actually going to use the greater than sign. No. So now I'm going to say if my global variable, go get it. Go back to your variable box and get the animate counter. If the animate counter is greater than what number do we want to go to? 0, 1, 2, right? So if we get greater than 2, where do we want to go back to? 0. So if we get greater than 2, right? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start out at 2. If it's not right, we can go back and make some changes. Are you with me? Because we're going to be able to see it go 0, 1, 2, right? 0, 1, 2. Okay? If the global animate counter is greater than 2, then I want to go back to my variable box, and I want to reset it. So I'm going to set the animate counter to be 0. Okay? And let's go ahead and run this, and let's see if it's right. Here we go. Test it. We got 1 minute left to test.
Timer has been started. Timer has been started.
Is it working correctly? Goes to 3. Very good. So what should this be here? Greater than shouldn't be greater than. What should it be? Less than? Greater than equal to. Greater than equal to 2. Go ahead.
Timer has been started. Timer has been started.
Do we ever get it to go to 0? No. So how could I get it to go to 0?
Timer has been started.
So what you could do right here is go right here, take this duplicate right here, take this guy, and right here you could just turn it off. So when you initialize the timer, it could be off here. Yeah. How do I fix my timer? Bingo. Set it to -1. Why? It was resetting it back to 0, right? But then immediately adding a 1 to it, right? So we were never getting to 0. So I wish I had candy up here. I'd give you candy, okay? Great job. Reset it to -1. That way you get to you're going to go back to -1 and then add 1 to it. What happens when you have -1 and add 1 to -1? What do you get? 0. Okay, and now you should see this run 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Tomorrow I show you how to animate Pac-Man. Okay, you are done. Tomorrow our goal is to get Pac-Man to do this, and then we're going to move Pac-Man left and right. How many people got this today? Great job. Good.
I didn't miss the first two.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. Great job. We'll see you tomorrow. Keep calm, man.